I woke up one day and I realized that my droid army is pathetic compared to my clone army. So I decided to go crazy with this and challenge myself to build the largest droid army I can in 24 hours in hopes of giving them a fighting chance against my clone army. Here are my results. So in hour 1, I of course wanted to start the foundation of any droid army, the B1 battle droids.
Roger.
Luckily, LEGO has been including B1 battle droids in just about every clone set for the past couple years. So I've slowly but surely been forming a droid army as I bought in clone sets over the past 2 years. Now on top of these droids, I also bought a huge lot off of Whatnot for an entire baseplate of droids, which aren't in the best condition, but we still have amassed quite a few B1 battle droids in hour 1, and I cannot wait to see this army get more exciting. So in hour 2, I thought it was only right to find all of my official LEGO B2 battle droids, including the regular variant and the rocket variant. Now I gotta say, this rocket super battle droid is probably one of the coolest droids LEGO has ever created. Especially because 3 of them were included in this legendary Clone Wars AAT set. Unfortunately, LEGO hasn't included any super battle droids since 2015's Hailfire droid. So it's kind of hard to get these super battle droids in large numbers. Luckily, they still maintain a price point of around $5 to $8, which isn't bad at all. These super battle droids will add effectiveness and strength to our army, but we're going to be adding even more effectiveness to our army in hour 3, because in hour 3 we'll be building an elite force of commando droids. Some regular commando droids and 2 commando droid captains. Not only will these guys have regular blasters, but we're going to spice them up with some of my new custom droid accessories. With a droid shield and a vibroblade, these droids will be practically unstoppable in larger numbers. But as they are expensive to produce in Canada, they're only smaller squads like the one I have here. Side note, if you want any of these accessories, they are in my website, link is in the description. Anyway, now that we've added some effective droids to the army, we're going to need some droids that can take a hit. So in hour 4, I built up some custom super battle droids. Now, the difference between the official LEGO B2s and the custom ones is the custom ones have white strips of paint on their arms, torsos, and legs, showing they are in an updated model. However, similar to the official LEGO version, they come in both rocket and regular variants. Now, I don't know if you remember these from the Clone Wars, but they're absolutely overpowered. These figures, although custom, have some really nice continuity with the official LEGO versions and are actually pretty high quality. What about more unique jobs, like commanding an army or fixing a vehicle? Well, in hour 5, we have an answer to that question with many different variants of the regular B1 battle droid, with a commander droid, pilot droids, AAT pilots, and some other incomplete battle droids. Now sadly, I am missing my 2 favorite variants of the battle droid, security battle droids and Geonosis battle droids, but unfortunately they are kind of expensive and hard to come by. Not to say, our army is looking more colorful than ever, but we're missing probably the most annoying droid for the clones to face off against. So in hour 6, I built the infamous Droideka. What surprises me is that people are not a fan of the newer Droideka design, but I think it is the best one to date, capturing the look of this insanely powerful droid quite well, in my opinion. And not only do we have Droidekas, but we have Sniper Droidekas, which probably are one of the most interesting droid designs LEGO has ever made, even though it's brick built. Now, although we have 4 different Droidekas in total, we're going to really ramp up the heat for 7, because in hour 7, we have Spider Droids. Now, sadly, I don't have the bigger version of Spider Droids called Homing Spider Droids, but since I have a whopping 6 Dwarf Spider Droids, I think that more than makes up for the missing Homing Spider Droid. Unfortunately, many people see this new Spider Droid design as obsolete compared to versions like the Clone Wars Spider Droid. But I actually really like not only how this droid looks, but how cheap it is to come across. For only $5 to $10, you can get your hands on 3 regular B1 battle droids and this beautiful Dwarf Spider Droid design, because many people actually sell Bag 1 of the 2022 ATTE, which is just 3 battle droids and the Dwarf Spider Droid for pretty cheap on Bricklink. Luckily, I got a great deal on these and managed to pick up a few of those Bag 1s for only $4 each a few months back. These Spider Droids add quite a bit of firepower to our army, but we're going to need more specialized droids to keep our army functioning. In hour 8, I built up a medical droid in case any non-droids get injured, a medical repair droid that is primarily for fixing up General Grievous, but I'm sure he can help any droid there is. And lastly, we have a custom 3D printed and painted tactical droid from the Battle of Yerbana. And I gotta say, the paint actually looks really solid on this guy. He's probably one of my favorite custom minifigures of all time. With these droids, we can now command and repair our army with ease. So let's add these to our army and continue in Hour 9. So in Hour 9, I thought it was finally time to introduce some vehicles to our droid army. And what better to build first than the most iconic vehicle in the droid army, the AAT. Luckily, LEGO recently made an AAT in 2020, so the parts to build all these tanks was pretty cheap. And although the cannon on the top is really oversized, I'm a huge fan of this blue AAT model and how the AAT drivers look in these tanks. And now that we have vehicles in our army, it's starting to look like an effective military. The vehicles don't end here, because in Hour 10, I built up a custom MTT designed by Bricklayer Bricks, which sadly I lost the brick-built rack for the battle droids, but regardless of this thing technically not doing its job, it's still an amazing model with a surprisingly large amount of interior space and, my favorite part, a small command station in the back. This MTT will spread fear into the clones' hearts, but since the MTT doesn't do its job of transporting troops, we're going to need a different vehicle to do that. So in Hour 11, since the MTT doesn't do its job, we built up the Droid Troop Transport, which is one of those sets that does utilize a pilot droid in the front, and in the back we have tons of battle droids ready to be deployed into battle, as well as a few weapons on the side. I absolutely love this model, and LEGO set in general, because it is an amazing army builder, and it was just so fun to be getting, 15 plus battle droids in one singular set. And it won't stand out like a sore thumb in an army, like a battle pack build would. It actually can fit in any army and look pretty dang good. But there are some smaller scale vehicles that do fit in an army, which we'll get into in Hour 12. So in Hour 12, we're not only going to be building 2 stacked speeders for battle droids to fly around on, but also some cannons that are technically supposed to be bigger, but have been downsized for affordability. Despite them being smaller than they technically should be, these models still look great, utilizing interesting building techniques and every piece being meaningful to the overall build. Now in Hour 13, I was a bit tight and decided to catch a night of rest, so we will continue the challenge in Hour 20. Hour 20, I built some bounty hunters that have been known to work with the Separatists, with Bosk, Jango Fett, Embo, Cad Bane, and Rako Hardeen. These figures add a ton of character to an otherwise monotone army, with amazing customs like Jango Fett and Embo, and peak official LEGO figures, like Bosk and Cad Bane. I am more than proud to have these figures in the collection. Let's add these bounty hunters to the army and continue on in Hour 21. So in Hour 21, I decided to build all 2 of Count Dooku's previous apprentices, both of which he kind of betrayed. But instead of just having a 2008 Clone Wars Asajj Ventress, I decided to step it up a notch and get a 2005 custom Asajj Ventress with a nice hood piece and her iconic lightsaber hilts. We also have the official LEGO Savaggio press, which LEGO did a great job on. So in Hour 22, I decided it was time to build some political figures of the Separatists. We have the Episode 3 New Gunray, which is far superior to the Clone Wars New Gunray in my opinion, as well as Pog the Lesser, which sadly I don't really have any other Geonosians to go with this guy, but that does mean he will stand out quite well in our army. Now to make up for the lack of political figures in the army, we actually built up a Separatist shuttle to transport our leaders. This is the official LEGO model, but it is modded a bit, with landing gear, nice interior space, and even a loading ramp. This is an amazing model and probably one of my favorite shuttles to date from Star Wars. But who's gonna give our droid army all of the orders? We'll answer that in Hour 23. So in Hour 23, we have the dreaded General Grievous. Sporting a custom cape and 2 lightsabers, he's ready to take on any Jedi. Or maybe train with his 2 Magna Guards, who both have tattered capes and a custom Electro Staff. Now, at the top of the chain, at least in the public's eye, we have a custom Count Dooku with his iconic bent chrome lightsaber. And finally, the mastermind behind it all, Lord Sidious. Now, Darth Sidious in all black looks too much like his older self, so I replaced his black accessories with brown ones, and he already looks much younger and more fitting for a mysterious Sith Lord. So let's combine all of our forces and see what the final result looks like in Hour 24. So here in Hour 24, our army is complete. With overwhelming numbers, firepower, and strategy, our army will have no problem taking on any clone forces. And maybe it's just me, but I love the simplicity in droid armies. There's enough diversity in the army to get things done, but not enough to make your head spin like with a clone army. Anyway, leave a like on today's video if you did enjoy, and leave a comment if you want to win a random droid from this video, and I will see you all in the next video. Have an amazing day. Peace out.